Hi guys, welcome to another vlog. Also, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are seeing my face for the first time, hi. My name is Maya and I live my life and document it here on the internet. Let me do the YouTuber-y things. I do have an Instagram. I do have a TikTok. Here's the name on both. If you guys want to follow me there, feel free to check that out. I will leave that linked in the description box down below. And I also have a booktube channel, so if you guys are into books or anything bookish related, go ahead and check that out. Speaking of, I literally just got off of filming a tag for my channel over there. And it's called the Valentine's Sweetheart tag, which is so cute. It was meant for romance readers, which I am not, but I made it applicable to me. Even though I am not a romance reader, I am not cold-hearted, I have emotions, I do appreciate love and all of the things. So currently I'm actually sitting on my floor. I know I have a couch behind me, but I'm sitting on the floor because the way that we positioned the coffee table is not directly in front of the couch, which is great because I was able to film. So now I'm sitting on the floor and I am actually on my laptop here and I am on my Notion here. This is the Focus Hub section. So I got a template from Jenna Hong. Sorry, that took me a second. My brain was processing. Jenna Hong here on YouTube. She is a lifestyle YouTuber and she's most notoriously known for Work to Live Diaries, which is where, you know, she works to live, not live to work, basically, which I appreciate that mentality. She created a sort of template in her Notion and she shared that template for free. And so one of the aspects of her template was the Focus Hub. It has a Pomodoro timer, which is awesome. It has the actual time of day in like hours, minutes, and even seconds, which I also greatly appreciate. So I am a content creator for Kale. So I actually do get paid for making short form content. I don't get paid here on YouTube, but I do get paid for short form content, or rather specified pieces of short form content. And a lot of the revenue that I get is actually from partnering up with Notion, because I do use Notion a lot. It does help me to kind of plan out my week and structure my off days, more specifically my Mondays, because I like to come off of the weekend because I have church and I'm just busy all day. I like coming off of that energy, and I still kind of have that adrenaline of doing a lot of different things. So on Mondays, I typically do like a lot of adulty errand type of things, which is why I don't normally vlog as much as I probably could. I also have the motivation to do more short form content on those days and to really pack in that content so that I can post throughout the week. And so we're still in February, basically. This is the last full week of February. And what I am doing at the moment is I'm actually getting all of the short form content together, and I'm actually scheduling it for March because, and this actually works out really well, and I didn't plan this at all whatsoever, so I'm not going to take any credit for it. I literally did not plan this. My content here on YouTube is 2 weeks behind, so in real time I'm 2 weeks ahead of whatever you guys are seeing. And so with that being said, when I finally started doing the short form content and like putting more effort into that, it also happened to coincide with, if I were to post all of that in March, that would be 2 weeks ahead for that content as well. So the weekly vlogs that you guys are gonna see are going to actually match up with in real time as of the time that they were filmed with the short form content, which is so entirely cool. There are some short form content pieces that are gonna be a little bit out of order according to like what you guys are gonna see in the vlogs and stuff and certain things. And like if you guys are laser-eyed vision, you guys will see it. And it's not me lying to you guys about time frame or anything like that. It's literally just when the content rolls out and when I decide I want to roll it out. But as with any other YouTuber who probably does this, who works the 9 to 5, I mean, I don't work a normal 9 to 5, but I also don't work the most abnormal out of pocket 9 to 5, because like I still get those hours. So like I work 3 days on, 4 days off, 4 days on, 3 days off, as you guys know. And so during the off days, you know, backlogging the content, specifically also because I have another channel that is focused on books and stuff, you know, having that backlog of content, and then also for the short forms to be able to post consistently even while I'm at work, to have that backlog is actually very much beneficial. And it gives me something to do. It gives my day some structure. So yeah, it also is helping me honestly stay on top of getting my life together in my room and stuff. So, oh, birds are talking. I still have some things that I need to do with my room. Like, I do need to prioritize getting that together because I want to next month really put a backlog of stuff for podcasting. I would love to do video format, and I would love also to have my wall of K-pop posters be in the background, but also at that point have the desk so that, you know, there's the posters above the desk, there's obviously the K-pop albums, but then there's also like the Harry Potter merch, my Funko Pops, like all of the things that encompass things that I like and kind of little aspects of my personality throughout. I would love to have that in the background as I'm talking to you guys about the real life stuff and just my thoughts on everything. And yeah, so I would love that. So I need to create that space. I also need to build my desk this week, and I'm not going to do it today. Today, like I said, on Mondays, I am coming off of the high energy of just being out, being with people, so, you know, I'm gonna do the errands out. I already did grocery shopping last night, so that's great. I also went to the bank to get some monies for my roomie, for my mom, so that's good. So today, the plan of attack is as follows. I actually put this on my Notion Focus Hub. I'm actually also doing the short form vlogging thing throughout the day, so I'll probably insert the stuff that I have already done thus far. Sorry, not sorry, I only have my phone. I do have, actually that's not true. I have a computer camera stuff, but that's more gaming style, and it looks gaming style, if you know what I mean. Anywho, for the day, on Notion, I have coffee, which I have done, Devos, done, plan week, roughly planning the week, which I have done, film the booktube video, the sweetheart tag, I have already done that, and here is the short form content. This is going to be in 2 parts. So I'm going to be filming short form vlogging throughout the day to kind of give a behind the scenes of a true day in the life with Notion, because with my branded content there is a minimum of 90 seconds. So I'm giving everything that I'm doing in a day with Notion and making it very just like very quick, very something that you could digest easily. And then I'm also going to post the video of like the full day with more footage and kind of give my ideology behind posting this content to help inform of like, hey, this is what branded content looks like. Here's the reality of the day. Here were my requirements, being 90 seconds is one of them. And here is me without requirements so that you can see, okay, here's some authentic highlight pieces. And yes, according to requirements, you know, there were some things that you had to get rid of. There were some things that you could keep. You had to be very choosy. And this is what you chose. And this is what was actually created. And just giving a little bit more life to transparency with content, specifically branded content, specifically like the behind the scenes, what we choose, what we don't choose, what makes it the highlight reel, and then what is the reality of that. Even if the reality is still a highlight reel because I am still choosing what I'm giving you guys, it at least shows, okay, here's what you had, here's what you chose, and then the reasoning behind that, because I think we could use a little bit more of that online. And plus, you know, budding creators, like, I feel ya. It's hard out here to, you know, do this job and get paid very little for it, if not at all. And there are ways that you can get paid for content and be honest and truthful and authentic and just your self. I mean, hey, I'm a nobody here on the internet, and I am getting paid to make content. Who decided that was a good idea? I don't know, but thank you. Regardless, that's what I'm planning to do with that content. And so I've already started editing the full day of, like throughout the day. I'm going to be editing and deleting footage as I go, because I think I need to do that more often, even with the vlog footage that I get. So I already started editing some of that, but then the rest of the day, so my outside errands is gonna be dropping a box off at Goodwill, because I need to just get rid of things, okay? There's a lot of boxes in my car that just I need to get rid of. So we're gonna go to Goodwill, we're gonna drop off the box. Then we're gonna pick up some packages that are at my mom's house. Well, package. There might be packages. I'm not entirely sure. I had to make 2 separate Amazon orders. Okay, so can we discuss? You and I, okay? This is between us. Literally, and because I work for Amazon, so Amazon, don't watch this. There were 2 separate orders that I had to make. So last night, I just could not, for the life of me, find what I wanted to find at Walmart. So I was just like, screw it. Let me just get it. Ordered it, delivered, or whatever. So it was more like cleaning supplies. It was the all pods that you use for laundry, okay? And also I wanted to get some other cleaning thing I had to buy. But one, I could get, the dishwasher pods. Okay, so I got the dishwasher pods with regular Amazon order, but for like the laundry detergent I had to go through fresh. What was that? Like, so I had to do 2 separate orders. Something happened, my phone glitched out. So I don't know exactly what was caught and what was not. In editing, if I need to make it a smooth transition to wherever I'm at now, I will do so. But basically, the dishwasher pods were in one order with some other things. I decided to order a few other things, some fun things, because, hey, you know what? My friends are right. At some point, like, I can't be afraid of spending money on some stuff that is fun just because I'm just, like, so about like money and making sure things are paid. Like, I know that my rent is going to be paid. I know that my utilities are going to be paid. I have a good stack of funds in my emergency fund. I have a good stack of funds in my savings. I have a good stack of funds in my vacation envelope, okay? In my vacation envelope. I have some stuff in miscellaneous. Like, I am set, okay? I am set for life. And I have all of the monies to pay off all of the debts to my mom, except for the month of February. So for this upcoming month in March is when she was like, okay, now you could start paying for everything. She gave a grace period of like, okay, in March, you can actually start paying all of the little things. Bro, I have all of the bills from December to January and also the extra for the car. Okay, so I already have that paid. So now I just need to pay for February and March, and we are golden. And February is literally, because I have already moved into my apartment, February is not the electric bill, because I promised my mom I would pay that as like rent, if you will, when I was living with her. Because that just makes sense, right? I'm living there, I'm getting money, like, you know, at least like pre-adulting. Like, I graduated from kid to adult, so like that mid-line, anyway. So January, like, I moved in officially the second to last week of January, so it only makes sense that I pay for the electric bill as part of my payment for rent, because I was there most of January. Even though the first week of January I was in Colorado, I still should be paying the rent there, because I would still be paying the rent here if I left for a week. Within the week. That's not how, like, that's not how it works. Starting February though, the only thing that I owe my mom is the phone bill and my car insurance, literally. And I'm only staying on with her for car insurance until I'm 25, which is gonna be this year anyway, because we don't talk about Bruno, but let's just say it was necessary for the cheapest things. So anyways, so yeah, so I only have that. Plus that for March as well. And literally like that once I get my next paycheck. So it's like, okay, yes, I can afford a book. I can afford things. Well, and it's not even a book. That was the last purchase. No, what I actually got, one of the things that I got was the 100 envelope saving challenge. Yeah, I got that folder. I literally, that is my pleasure spend. I am getting that so that I can start putting all of my savings into that. That's probably not the wisest thing to say on the internet, but like I want to do that. Well, not all of my savings, but you know what I mean. Like starting to save for that, and whatever that is like the like extra miscellaneous. That's not like the savings because I have my savings in my actual savings account, so we can get that. Plus I want to start investing in Moomoo because I watch Caleb Hammer, so I want to start investing there, potentially Acorns. Who knows? Like I'm young, I'm learning, and I want to take advantage of compound growth while I'm still in my 20s. And I'm officially in my mid-20s. Like being 24, you are officially in your mid-20s. Early 20s is 20 to 23, mid-20s is 24 to 26, and then late 20s is 27 to 29, because then after that you're in your 30s, and then we're gonna probably potentially have a midlife crisis. Who knows at this point with me? I genuinely don't know how long my lifespan will be, but there's that. Anywho, where did I get off on that? Oh yes, my to-do list. So I'm gonna pick up packages at my mom's house, and I'm also gonna deliver the debt payoff monies. And yeah, then because there's a UPS directly next to her, actually what's really convenient, Goodwill is right next to her, and then it's my mom's house, and then it's UPS. So literally the way I planned it and the way that I wrote it out is the way that it's gonna go, or that I was hoping it was gonna go, because this is all the different stops. So anyways, so after that we're gonna go to the UPS, we're gonna send out a letter and some Tupperware for my dad and his wife. And then we're gonna go to Bookman's and we're gonna do a little book drop off. I'm still debating if I'm gonna do a booktube video where I just include that of like all of the bookish things I'm gonna do, because here's the thing, I already built a TBR cart, so I'm gonna use that footage. I want to go to some bookstores and include that footage. I want to do a book haul. I'm gonna do a book haul literally when I get back probably. In that, I'll probably also use some of that footage in a full encompassing doing bookish things video, TBD on that one though. Or if I'm gonna take advantage of like short form, which is so much easier when you're out and about, because I am not that confident. The booktubers that can go out there, or YouTubers in general, that could just go out in the general public and like walk and talk on their camera, and you see people like passing them and walking by. Do you know how many people? Okay, also I live in Arizona, so that's probably another reason. But do you know how many eyes would like just be watching you and just like being so nosy? I couldn't do it. So we're gonna see what happens. I might not do anything at all. I may literally just drop off the books and be like, peace, see ya. Nothing will happen there, which is probably gonna be the case, but I digress. So then we're gonna do the Bookman's drop off, and then when we get back home, more than likely, I'm gonna be eating from home today, but I already have things that are prepared. So I don't know if I'm gonna be doing any sort of meal prepping, because also I still have a gigantic thing of tuna that I already prepped for last week, and there's just leftover. Like it was a big thing of tuna. So that's already there for lunches. I have frozen meals. So like, I do want to meal prep this week. That is a thing, but I don't know if I want to do that today. I might potentially do that some other day, so I'm not entirely sure, but we'll be TBD on that as well. Then I'm going to edit some vlog footage, aka just making sure my storage stays clear so that I can actually like do videos, because I would love to bulk film. Mondays, I would love, or Tuesdays, depending. I would love to just bulk film. You know, because so much of my bookish content is going to be sit down videos. It's not going to be like out and about vlog-esque style like I've been giving to you guys. Like I know I've been talking about my recent reads with you guys, and potentially I could talk about it a little bit more and get a little bit more footage for my bookish channel, but I don't want to be that. Like for my bookish channel, I do want it to surround books. Like I don't want it to only be cursory like, this is what I'm reading, this is what I'm doing. I would love to have dedicated challenges to specifically, or not challenges, but like reading vlogs dedicated specifically to the books. I like seeing life happen for people, but there's just something different about a dedicated book vlog where it is about the books. It's about, yeah, there is life, but there is activity while a book is being read in the background as audio. Or, you know, here are some extra things that are added on to the content to give you more of a realistic version of who your YouTuber is, and then you know their book tastes and stuff. But see, here's the thing, on here is where you're gonna find that. Like, I want the channels to be different. I want my bookish channel to be dedicated towards books, my thoughts on books, my feelings and opinions on books just based off of what I'm reading. I want to have fun on there with just books, and any life stuff is gonna be here. Any sort of like podcast is gonna be its own thing. Like, I don't want them to be like so separate, because I do talk about books here and I will talk about life there, but I want them to be focused. Like, I have a squirrel brain, so I like to focus things, knowing that this is like my lifestyle channel where I talk to you guys about life and give you guys behind the scenes. That's easy for me to like focus on. To have my booktube channel where it's about books and where it's about like all of the fun literary elements that I'm learning, and potentially bringing in like my college courses and like talking about all of the books that I had to read for that. Like, I want it to be that. And then like for podcasting or whatever, having their own separate videos, because it's going to have its own separate schedule, it makes sense to put it on another channel. You know what I mean? Like, I have a lot of hobbies and things that make up myself, which is what this channel is for, but specifically the thing that is just like more than that, and has always been more than that for me, is books. So making a dedicated channel to that also makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where I was going with that. I'm gonna editing some vlog footage. That's where we were at in the day. Literally. You guys, I put read something. Can you guys see that? Read something. That was more so I wanted to finish reading Slenderman. I have finished reading that. I have some thoughts. We'll talk about it later. But I finished reading Slenderman. I am so close to finishing the London Seance Society, so I want to do that. I want to start Renegades, gonna do that. And then I put vlog day for TikTok, which is going to be like the branded Notion TikTok plus the day. And then just remembering evening walk. I like to go on an evening walk on my days off, just so that I can have movement and so that I can have some sort of routine. I do like having some lenient structure throughout the day, otherwise I feel lost and like I don't know what I'm doing, and I almost feel guilty for just having nothing to do. So reminding myself like, oh, okay, so here are some things that actually do need to get done, here are some things you need to prioritize. And like, for the most part, hey, you're here, you're sitting around, you know, like, yeah, do read, and like you do make content out of that, so that is kind of like your job. Like, not really, but like, yeah, it can be. And what a great job. So yes, and all of them are books that I chose. So it's like, I'm not being forced to read it like I am for my college classes. Not that like I'm mad, because I don't think I have had very many a book that I didn't like. In fact, I don't think I've ever had a book that I didn't like that I was forced to read necessarily. Like, I think my mind just kind of understands, like, if this is a book for a class, you're gonna have to do it, and like, it has its own type of enjoyment, but it's not anything that I would categorize for pleasure reading or something like that. I don't know. But some of the books are, like, they're genuinely very good for the more recent college courses, I would say. But anyways, yeah, so that's the plan of attack for the day, and that's what we're gonna be doing. So I'm actually gonna get ready to actually head out now, and then we're gonna do the outside stuff. I'm gonna be short form vlogging it, so enjoy that footage, and I will come to you guys with this type of footage afterwards. So enjoy. Hi guys, welcome to my closet. I'm getting ready to head out for my evening walk after a full day of events. So kind of to recap, I went to Goodwill, then my mother's. I actually did an extra thing at my mom's, which was printing out some stuff for next month for my booktube channel. It's actually all of the stuff that I need for the readathon, all of the information, all of the logos, all of the everything, just so that I have it in print, because I would like to try and do some journaling alongside this particular readathon. Would have loved to do it this month too, but you know, I've been moving, so I'm like, I wasn't even gonna try that. A little bit more settled now and everything's all good. So, plus now I have all of my stuff together to be able to do like the phone down flat lay to kind of record some journaling. So I'm very excited. So I'm gonna get more into journaling next month. Cannot wait, or that's the plan anyways. So after that, I was gonna go to the UPS store, which was right across the way. Well, I forgot one of the pieces of Tupperware here at the apartment, so I was like, okay, no problem. I know there's a UPS store right next to us, which there was, not even 4 minutes away, very convenient for when I need to return things for packages. Then immediately went to Bookman's afterwards, and they told me with the amount of books and everything and the amount of orders that they had, and that there were a lot of people in the store, it would take up to an hour at most to get through all of those books. And I was like, okay, perfect. So I was gonna like look around, and if I got a little bored, probably get lunch. Well, actually it turned out I did not get bored. I filmed something for my short form content for TikTok. I did a little come shopping at Bookman's with me video, and I got quite a fair bit of footage, even for my little insecure little self that was like, I am filming in public and there are a lot of people around me, and there were probably some people that saw me filming a book, holding it in my hand. But like, that's the least inconspicuous form of vlogging. So I was like, I was more okay with them seeing that and like them thinking, oh, I was taking a video for a friend, or I was taking pictures to be able to like talk to all my book besties, which isn't that far off, than, you know, making a TikTok, which is what I was actually doing. So I was okay with that. I did a little bit of that, and then I still had some time left to kill, so I was like, okay, cool. There was a little table with some chairs in one of the reading sections, and so I sat down. I started editing on that TikTok, and so now I have that prepped and ready to go. The last things I need to do are like adding sound and doing like all of the captions and everything, but I'm gonna do that actually on TikTok. There are some pieces of content where I mute every single thing of the clips, because I know with each various form of media there is some copyright restrictions, like on Instagram, that there aren't on TikTok, and there's a whole different system for CapCut. So I'm just like, which is the video editing app I use, so I'm just like, I'm just gonna go by each platform. I'll just have the content as is and edit it in CapCut, which is my easiest tool, and then I'm gonna like go to other various forms of media. So anywho, I did that, which was awesome. About that time they called me up, so I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so I got my stuff, I got all of the books, and there were quite a fair few books left, but I still got really good like in-store credits, so I don't even know how that played out. But anyways, well, I do. Some of them were pretty popular books that I just was never gonna get to, and I was like, I literally bought these for the hype. I was never gonna read them. Let's just be honest, I've had them for years, so they needed to go. Plus I wasn't gonna just like, I don't have space. Like, I just don't. Some of my books are in my closet, okay. And then put those boxes back in my car. There's a Goodwill right next to it. So what do? I just pull right up to Goodwill, give them the boxes, and we are all set. So after that, I went to get some lunch. It was a very late lunch. On the way back home, then I dropped off some of the stuff that I wanted to here, got the Tupperware, went back out, went to the UPS store, delivered that, and then came back home and just crashed. Like, I just flat out, I just crashed. And then now we're here. Oh, well, that's actually not true. Woke up, did a little bit of video editing, got that on my screen recorder on my phone, but like vertical for the video, so I was able to get that for the whole full day TikTok, not just the productive morning with me with Notion branded content, right? Because I said I was going to do both and show the differences and variation and be a little bit more transparent in that way and be like, okay, this is what I have to show you, this is what I can show you, and you know, here's my reasonings why I did it, why maybe the brand wanted that, because they know like quick and easy does indeed sell, and when you're working with a brand, it's more of an ad than anything else, so you are restricted to specific standards that meet the criteria for a specific reason, for a specific purpose, for the targeted goal of getting people to actually want to purchase your product for that reason. It's not being, you know, just your daily life with a thing, but I wanted to show that I did do the daily life with a thing, you know, that it's not just something that I sell, it's something that I actually use, and I use on the weekly, okay? Because I'm not gonna lie, I don't use Notion every single day of my life, but I do use it to help organize my life, and especially organize my life on my days off, which is something that I think everyone could use. Everyone and their brother who is an average Joe can use, and not have it be like a whole thing that you see influencers, you know, using every single day and creating all of these like, you know, great aesthetic templates. It doesn't have to be that. You can literally just steal a template from someone. Well, not steal, but like, it's free to use. Get a free to use template, use it for yourself, create it for your own needs, and just get life done, okay? Because that's all we got time for the most part, for most people. So yeah, I just wanted to be overall transparent with that, show another side to it, and be like, yeah, you know, even the daily person can do that, and it's genuine and authentic, and it gives genuineness and authenticity to the product itself, and therefore the brand, therefore making more people trust it more. So I don't see a downside in that. You tell me if there's a downside to that, I don't know, but I don't see a downside to that at all. I think it's actually something that the brand would probably like, you know, not just being an ad every once in a while thrown into your feed, but rather something that is used on the daily, and the differences in content are nothing except for length and specified things that make it the ad that it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And now we're here in my closet, getting ready to head out for my evening walk, because I am going to do my evening walk before I do my reading. Potentially, because it's close to 5 right now, and I don't want to walk too late, but I also don't want to walk in daylight. So no, you know what? I'll read a little bit, and then we'll go on our walk. Okay, I like that. So anyways, I actually have a little mini haul for you guys. Again, riddle me why this had to be separate. Because it's not even like food. It comes individually wrapped. Hold up. Amazon, you do too much. I'm glad you do, but like, you do too much sometimes. Gotta get rid of all that plastic. Voila. All pods for all your laundry needs. So actually, the reason that I'm getting the pods, which are probably, definitely more expensive than the liquid soap, is one, it feels cleaner. So if the water doesn't happen to run, like there's no soap that just dries onto your clothes, because I've had it where it wasn't broken. I was broken. I didn't understand our washer. So I thought like it was broken, and I was about ready to call actually our people at the front desk Turns out we just don't have one of the settings. I don't know if it's a time of year thing. I don't know if it's just a regular thing and I should actually get that checked out and fixed, but it didn't affect the load of laundry necessarily, so I could put it from cold to warm cold. Riddle me why all of it says cold, even hot says cold underneath it. I don't know. Anyway, so I was just like having a time with it, but my clothes were sitting there with the liquid soap just drying into the clothes, and I was like, I don't like that. I eventually got it to where it did eventually wash, and I wasn't dumb, but yeah, I don't want to go through that again. So this also, I'm an allergy baby, so I'm allergic to some detergents. I don't seem to be doing too bad with the one that my roomie got initially, but just in case, I'm gonna have these for myself just because I know I don't have a reaction to them, and I'd rather not have an allergic reaction that could potentially look life-threatening in front of my roommate. You know, I'm thinking about everyone's health here. Okay, so yeah, we got this. We got some dishwasher machine dealios coming in the other one, along with the 100 envelopes challenge, a budget binder, which is what I severely need, and I think one other thing, I'm not entirely sure. I think it's just that. I should probably check my Amazon order history. But I also have another Amazon package, but I'm not gonna open it right now because most of it is books. And I'm gonna do a book haul tomorrow. And I wanna just, like, I wanna have the box unopened at the start of the video at least, so yeah, not opening that. So I said mini haul for a reason, like it was a mini haul, but it is a but it is a very useful haul. Keep that in. We're human over here, okay? We're transparent. Anywho, what book am I going to be reading? Oh yeah, I'm gonna continue on with the Lennon Seance Society because that's just a book that I want to finish. I do want to start the Renegades, and I do want to start Six of Crows. But I am going to be doing a dedicated reading vlog to the duology, so I'm not going to start that yet. I'll probably start that tomorrow. And Renegades I might start separately, but also I'm just like, I'm very excited. Like the way that I was so excited when I rewatched Emma Books' reading vlog as well as her review on said book, like I just can't wait to get back into sci-fi again and like the fictional fantasy worlds, because I've been into more murder mystery stuff. Like, you guys have been seeing what I'm reading. I haven't been reading a lot of fantasy, like high fantasy or the sci-fi or more magical realism, things like that. Like, I haven't really done that, so I can't wait to get back into it. My little reading heart is so excited. It's jumping for joy over here. So yeah, anywho, I'm gonna pick a book, start reading, and bring you guys along for as much of the rest of the night as I can. The short form Yikes, Maya. The short form vlogging will be continuing, so you might see more of that as the montage, and then I'll be talking to you guys tomorrow, or you guys are just gonna see montage and I'll be talking to you guys tomorrow. So see you guys tomorrow. The situation is as good as it's gonna get, so let's just act like this is a good angle. So I was kind of like in the vlogging zone all day yesterday, but today I kind of wasn't. Today I was more in the editing stage of life, okay, because there was quite a fair bit of short form content that needed to be edited. There was a fair bit of the vlog that I wanted to edit just to get the bulk of the editing done before my work week started, because I still always end up during my work week like putting the finishing touches, like the little assets that you see at the beginning of the, you know, the little thing of the like, subscribe, ring the notification bell with all of the sound effects, just another run through just to make it a little bit more smooth. Believe it or not, yes, I do take out more and more footage throughout the time. I do try, and it still ends up being feature-length films, but yeah. And really, like, quite frankly, I have been using my days off as days off and really just focusing on the things that I really want to prioritize. So things like my devotions in the morning. I actually woke up really late today, more than normal. I mean, I did go to bed at like 3 a.m., which is a little bit later than I normally do, but even then I typically wake up at like 8:30 at the latest. So like I must have been really tired, my body must have been really tired, and I just needed that. So I slept in till about 10, well, a little earlier, but like I was officially awake and like getting up, getting my coffee at 10. I got the coffee, and then I sat down on the couch, kind of just like stared into space for a second, took a sip, did my devotions. Because one of the physical triggers that I have for my morning routine is like take a sip of coffee, do my devotions, just that way I have that time of the day. So I did that, and then I immediately just like went in on editing my booktube video, got that done within about an hour or so, and at that point I was a little hungry, so then I stopped for lunch, and then I did a little bit more editing, and then I was really starting to feel like that midday slump. I was gonna try and power through it because I slept till freaking 10, but my body was like, no, you're still a little extra tired. So I got another hour and a half of a nap, and now we're here. Yesterday I said I was planning on reading a book, which was The London Seance Society, and I had also mentioned at some point, I don't know if it was Monday or if it was Saturday or whenever I was last talking to you guys about books, that I finished Slender Man, and I had a lot of things to say. I do believe I actually talked about it on Monday, and I was like, we'll talk about it later, because I was getting ready to go for a walk, and technically it's still around that time, but I feel like I have more time to talk to you guys. So Slender Man was very interesting, and so here's the thing. I'm not gonna give this book a rating. I refuse. This is a story about a crime that was committed. I'm not going to do that. This is real. It deserves the respect of not getting rated like that. In actuality, I know we have made true crime a genre, but I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be monetized like that. Now, granted, I do believe, I am of the personal belief that it is okay for certain people to get money from doing what they do. So like news reporters, they get paid to talk about the news, and oftentimes you will find crime being an element of that, and that is their job. They are getting paid to do that, and the impact of getting eyes on it is very, very beneficial and should be something that should be covered. Granted, should it be covered out of the kindness of the TV station's hearts for the victim and for the victim's families, just on a human level? Yeah. But it is still their job. They do other things outside of that for their job. I do believe that true crime YouTubers and podcasters should be able to have sponsors to give them the capability of living while they are reporting about these cases, because that is the genre that they chose. That is the genre that their audience has chosen to help boost for them. I do think that that is a thing. Do I think that true crime should be written in literature to be sold as a thing to make a living? I mean, one could argue newspapers do the same thing, so I don't necessarily think that that is necessarily wrong. But I don't think that rating it like you would rate any other piece of literature is moral. That's a morally gray area for me. I genuinely don't have too much of an idea of where I stand, other than I think it's wrong. I don't believe that it should be. So that's where I stand on that. I do think that it was quite informative. And so here's the thing. And here's something that I struggled with The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I'm not going to compare fantasy to this true crime. I'm using this as an example of where my mindset is when I started this book and where my mindset is now that I have read it, and I feel like my reasoning has been justified through this book, and my best explanation is kind of through this fictional character. So let me just like explain what I'm talking about and stop like being vague about it. So I had a problem with The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes because I had a very strong dislike of President Snow. You could almost say hatred, because of what his character was, what he did, what he exemplifies. And I didn't want him to have any sort of platform to share his story, because at the end of your life, sir, whatever you did in the past, you chose to be what you became, and you just kept getting worse. And from what I am told by everyone around me, he does not get justified. But the thing is, no matter what, there is an element that can get you to think more empathetically and have more sympathy. Some people would call it more humane views. That sympathy and empathy is good and you should have it, but you have to be very careful with going too far one way or the other about something. And oftentimes when you put in those elements, there is a whole like pendulum swing of extremes that you think of when you think about a person, okay? And so I didn't want the pendulum swing to happen for President Snow or for people like Umbridge, okay? Because Umbridge was just a terrible human being, or any other sort of tyrannical, villainous character, right? You don't want that for them, because then it's kind of just like we are almost, in a way, letting them off for what they did, and we're focused on an element that makes it relatable and understandable. And it's almost like, why are we trying to understand? My initial thoughts going into The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was, I don't want President Snow to be justified in anything that he did by way of a backstory. Because at the end of the day, sir, you killed so many people. It wasn't just the kids, but you literally, for entertainment, put children in an arena. And don't get it twisted. Like, I know Jennifer Lawrence does not look like a teen, okay? We aged up our characters. I feel like that happens a lot in movies, right? So, you know, I'm not bashing on her in any way. This is not like a Jennifer Lawrence hating session. She does not look like a normal teen girl, okay? And Peeta does not look like a normal teen boy, okay? Mr. Hemsworth over there, Mr. Model, is not teens, okay? And we aged him up, much like in Percy Jackson, or the first time around, when they didn't do it right in the movies. Aged up Logan Lerman is not a typical teen-looking type of guy. What's her face that played Annabeth does not look like the typical teen girl. Then again, in the Maze Runner series, okay, Dylan O'Brien is not a teen boy, okay? Neither is Thomas Brody Sangster, or literally Ki Hong, or any of them. They're not teens. Teresa was not a teen. So we are putting in older actors and actresses to play teens. What I love about Harry Potter is, for the kids, we got kids. Like, they grew with the series, and it was very evident, and I think it was more impactful over time, because we literally saw children as children, teens as teens. So these other movies that are coming out around that time of, you know, these dystopian type of worlds, it can be deceiving when we're discussing the legitimate actions of President Snow. Now, granted, President Snow was never a good guy, and no one ever thought anything that he did was ever right, but what he did was awful, and I didn't want what he did at the end of his life to be justified or be in any way minimized because, oh no, he has a backstory. Oh no, he has a sob story. And that didn't happen, bless everything, from what I hear, because I haven't read the book. I owned the book at one point, guys. I didn't read it because that is how much of a stance I had against this, because I had that stance for a lot of people at the time. Any bad action should not be justified. Like, I didn't want it to be justified. I didn't want it to be explained away. And that's kind of how I went into this book. See, we're circling around. We had a point. It's hard, okay? Specifically with this case, because we're talking about children, okay? Okay, how do I word this? I'm gonna take a sip of coffee, okay? And we're gonna figure out how to say this without miscommunicating how I'm actually feeling. You may agree, you may disagree, but at least I will have said it in the way that I wanted to the first time around, or in editing. I feel really hot in it. I'm only talking about books. There is no justifying murder or attempt at murder. You are taking life into your own hands and basically saying that you have the right to determine a person living or dying, and that is not okay at any age, period, point blank. There are elements in this case that were not brought up at the time of this case and should have been addressed, should not have been swept under the rug, and when the mistakes were made, instead of doubling down because you were wrong, you should have admitted that it was a wrong thing and made it right so that it doesn't happen again. On the other side, because you have a mental illness does not mean that you are not responsible for your actions, in as much as you literally are responsible for your actions. Like, there are things, I can admit, mental conditions where you literally have no control. Physically have no control, mentally have no control. There are things like that. But there are choices that you can make that you do have responsibility and control for, and therefore need to answer to that when you do something wrong. And specifically when it involves something this extreme. It is my personal belief that everyone was wrong here. Everyone. The justice system was wrong. The security police force was wrong. The parents did wrong. The school system did wrong. The girls did wrong. Okay? Literally, the only one that you could justify any sort of anything would be the victim. And as far as I could tell, she is out here living life trying to move past this instance. She will remember this, don't get me wrong, but it sounds like she's trying to live. I think there were a lot of missteps that were made. on everything. And I think all of them need to be addressed individually. It would be something that I would recommend to people, and it would be something that I do believe has a good focus. And I do caution, though, that because it is more just telling information, and there is a little bit of a bias there towards the end, I think, and there's a heavy stressor of like, this is an element here that does need to be talked about, and because of this element, all of these things happen, and it exacerbated a lot of different things. I do think that you have to be very careful of not being caught up in the diagnosis and being caught up in everything that meant, and remembering what it led to, why this was happening in the first place, but also, yes, being sympathetic, being empathetic, and being like, hey, we need to address this too. Like, yes, this needed to be a consequence. Like, they shouldn't have got off scot-free. Yes, they do deserve jail time at some capacity, in some way, shape, or form. But also, you know, let's address it. Let's not just sweep it under the rug and have that be that. Let's not take the easy way out just because it's more comfortable for you. Okay, I get you don't want to address your internal issues, me speaking to the people who decided all of these things that caused more issues as well. It's not good to not address your issues. I know you don't like to look at them, but you need to take responsibility for your issues, because you not addressing your issues is now starting to hurt her for things that were out of her control, that she could not understand, and that, quite frankly, are not a part of that. But also being that did happen. So now, how do we discipline that? How do we move forward and get her better so that she can understand a little bit more? And now that she is older and can even understand a little bit more than that because of maturity and just basic human growth, maybe then we can loop back to that and be like, okay, this is on your criminal record now. Yes, you were tried for this, and that thing. That's gonna stay, because guess what? Human life should not be in anyone else's control, whether they live or die. That is not okay. So addressing all of the things at once is very helpful, not just one part of the issue. Solving one part of the issue and putting a little band-aid over a little bit of blood that's bleeding out over here does not fix the gash on the leg that needs to be stitched back up, right? Okay, so anyways, so that's how I feel on that. I also, yesterday, I said I was going to start reading a little bit before I went out for my walk, and I did, and I finished reading the London Seance Society, and whew, it was so good. And yeah, I just had a great, amazing time. I mean, learning about seances and like all of the different things of that world were just kind of really cool, because there were things that I did learn about it, even amidst like all of the action and stuff. And I love all of the different elements, all of her characters, all of the plot points, all of the misdirections. It was so good. It was so good. Definitely recommend. And now I am going to be picking up another read this evening, and that is Renegades by Marissa Meyer, and this is a thick boy. She thick, or he thick. Me misconfusing all the pronouns. This is a sci-fi book with a little bit of romance thrown in, and I cannot wait to actually read this, to get back into the sci-fi world. Like I was telling y'all, I'm very excited to get back into sci-fi and get back into fantasy and all of these other magical worlds. I cannot wait. Like, this was a magical world, don't get me wrong, but it also had to deal with murder, and then there was the real world also dealing with murder, or attempted murder, at the same time. I don't know what I was thinking with that one, but I definitely knew that I was thinking I really like these books. So hopefully we get another 5-star in this one. And then outside of my room, off cam over here, I also have Six of Crows, and I'm going to start that at some point this week as well. I think I'm going to start it tomorrow, and I'm going to be doing like the more talky updates with that, because I want to do the duology, the Six of Crows and the Crooked Kingdom, as starting the Grishaverse readings. So I want to just do that together, and yeah, that is all I have to say. The coffee do be starting to kick in. Can you tell? The speed of my voice is it's getting a little up there, so cheers. So yeah, I'll have some time to read by daylight out on the balcony. So we're gonna go and do that. I got my book, I got my coffee, and we're just gonna have a great time. Let's go. Hi guys, it is Wednesday. I actually need to get going, so I'm actually meeting up with a friend today before small group. Also, I just did a haul today, and one of the bags was a Bookman's bag, and this actually now houses all of the things that I need to give to my friend who I'm actually going to be talking to, so that works perfectly. Love how that is arranged. So you guys, this is another one of those one update kind of days where I'm literally just talking to you guys near the end of the day. I basically spent the entire day talking to my sister because it was needed, because there were some things that I needed to get advice on, and then we got off on a track of spiritual gifts, and then I was then talking with her and my little nephew, and he and I just had a great 10-minute conversation of sharing our favorite things. Love that little boy. So that was pretty much all of the day. I did do some dishes, I did do some editing. I filmed a booktube video, so I wasn't completely not doing anything, but I definitely spent a good day. I spent a good portion of the day talking to my sister because that was needed. I also read a little bit of a book called The Renegades by Marissa Meyer. Ever heard of it? I'm sure you have. It is very interesting. I am very happy with it. I love the characters, I love the plot, I love the word choice and style. I'm hooked. I'm hooked. And yeah, that's kind of pretty much what I did all day, not gonna lie. It was very chill, very low-key, unexpectedly so, and I am so happy about that. They go. Thursday and the start of our short work week, and I just got packed and ready for work, so we're having a good start to the day. We're having an early start as well because I need to go to the bank, put in some monies, and then I am going to go get me some Starbies, and then I'm going to head into my parking lots and hopefully get there a little bit early like I normally do so that I could start reading my book, Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I have gotten quite a ways into it to have a fairly good idea that I really, really like this author and her writing, which now makes me kind of regret giving away some books, but they have been sitting on my bookshelves for years, and it was an impulse purchase based on booktuber recs, and not even because they sounded good. That wasn't even the premise of me buying them. It was like, oh, my favorite booktuber has this book, therefore I should read this book as well. And being that they were fantasy readers and sci-fi fantasy readers, or more fantasy leaning other genres, I was kind of just like, I'll buy it, because I was into fantasy at the time. I stopped reading, and then when I got back into reading, or wanted to get back into reading rather, I tried to force myself back into those worlds and force myself into different genres instead of just realizing and understanding that I am older, I am grown, I am not the same person that I was prior to stopping reading, and everything that happened afterwards has shaped me into something else, just has shaped my attitude and my perspective and my thought process, and therefore has changed my reading taste and style. So, I am going back into a world with this book that I didn't even know I could like. Fantasy that I had read that I was very much in love with at the time were the dystopian worlds. So it had almost sci-fi futuristic elements without actually being labeled sci-fi. So I knew in some capacity I kind of liked sci-fi, but I didn't like the heavy scientific elemental things about sci-fi, actually. Like, I'm not a science girly, so I can't appreciate the science. For me, it's just like so much information of stuff that I don't understand all at once, and it makes me mad that I don't understand the information, therefore I don't like whatever it is that I'm reading, and that's unfair to sci-fi writers, so I didn't really try to go into the genre. Well, then I took a college course where I literally had to read only sci-fi, and at first I was like, okay, this could be really good or really bad. At the time, I didn't think I was an analytical reader, one that automatically goes to analyzing like storylines and plot points and themes and styles and things like that. But because I had been laser focused on that type of reading for my classes, because I needed to understand the material to be able to write a report on the material, and I still got a good grade in that class. And riddle me why, because one of the books I read through the entire thing and I literally missed the entire point. Like, I thought I got a point and I focused on the one point that I got, which to me seemed very minimal. Like, it didn't feel like it was good enough for a paper or an assignment, but I was like, well, if this is the one book that's gonna do me in, at least it's not like the exam or anything. Even though, granted, the exam is gonna have that book on it, at least like the other books can weigh it out, and it was one of the last books, and I was already like in the middle of the last one, when I had to turn in the assignment for the previous book, and I was just like, I'm winging this. Like, hardcore. I am winging the material. I'm gonna put my best foot forward, obviously, but I missed the point. And then I went back to review some notes for the exam and went back over all of the video lectures and all of the everything. And I don't know if it was before the exam or after the exam. There was some period, it had to have been after the exam, because there was some period where I looked up that book and the meaning behind it, because I was like genuinely very curious, like, where did I mess up, basically? How is this making sense for other people, but it's not making sense for me? And I needed to make sense for this class, and at the very least make it make sense in my brain, because it's not making sense. So I went back over the video lecture with a fine-tooth comb. Actually, it was before the exams, I remember, because I realized I did not get the point literally, I think, week of exam. So that was fun. Anywho, so I figured out through those lectures that I totally missed the point. And a particular scene that had me mind-reeling for at least a few hours, because college courses be going like that, and then I was working full-time, and don't ever work full-time and go school full-time. It doesn't do you well. Anyway, so I figured out what it was, and that was nowhere near what I thought, and I was like, at what point in this story did this happen? Because I read the same story as y'all, and I get it. You guys are smart. You guys can go through everything through a fine-tooth comb, and trust me when I say, I have met people in this realm of creative writing and literature analysis and all of this that are very in-depth. Like, they are very thorough with the work. Half the time I'm like, are you even sure that the authors wanted this deep? Like, do you think they actually truly thought that deep? Because, like, there are works, right, that just hit you in the right way and are worded the right way to make a more profound experience than the author could have ever imagined. That's why all the time you hear famous modern day writers who are still alive and able to articulate this say that was not the intent. Like, I truly didn't think it could be taken that way, but I'm so glad it was that impactful for all the audience, right? And so that's why big franchises and big fandoms in literature happen, because it becomes profound beyond the author's own wisdom and knowledge of life, because individual readers can take a point and have an experience, a life experience, or a life English, Maya, use it, where it becomes more and it can mean more. All of that to get back to, they were getting themes and plot pieces and deeper meanings that I was just like, well, on the surface level, this is about aliens looking into water and seeing human faces. I get you can go deeper with that, but the type of deeper that they were going with was like having to do with colonization, I think. Which I get, like, if you really sit down and think about it, you can get to all of these deeper things and deeper themes and deeper conversations, but I was learning how to get there. So basically all of that to say, I started to learn how to become more of an analytical reader, and so now I'm looking at all of these different books and I'm like, could I potentially actually like sci-fi? Because, like, I liked the sci-fi elements that were very, like, shallow and just, like, futuristic and woo, like, otherworldly, and it's great. Could I like actual sci-fi? And I'm not saying this is, like, actual sci-fi, but, and what I mean by actual sci-fi is, like, deep in the weeds, researched science for a futuristic world, and they're giving us all of that information. I think Brandon Sanderson does that type of thing. So, I don't know, maybe I should try reading his works. I hope it doesn't end up like a Tolkien situation where there's so much awesome prose, honestly, because it is awesome, about different elements that just, like, bore me to death, because I'm like, okay, but where are the characters? Where's the action? Where's the dialogue? Give me something here, because you're going on and on and on and waxing poetic about a tree that I really have no interest in. And maybe I should, maybe it'll mean something later on, but, like, for me right now, first glance, a tree is a tree is a tree, so let's pick up the pace. Anyway, so hopefully it's not that situation. Anyways, I am dipping my toes back into the world of sci-fi with Renegades, because apparently this is the genre that it is under. So, you know, light sci-fi. I can't wait. Honestly, some of my favorite reads from college were from the sci-fi class. Like, I gave 5 stars to all but the one that I literally could not understand, because I could not understand it. It was like, it was just so weird. It felt like a fever dream, to be quite honest. Yeah, it just felt like a fever dream. I didn't even know what was what and who was who. Like, you were supposed to follow along and go from one world to another, or like from the past to the present to the future to the to the future of the sci-fi future. And it was like the timelines were so blurred, the characters were not making any sense, and you didn't know who was who. It was like that one adaptation of Little Women. Like, I'm sorry, like, it was really good. Like, the newer adaptation, maybe there was a newer one than that, I don't know, but the one that has Emma Watson in it as the older sister, I think it wasn't bad, don't get me wrong, but the timeline were just skip. Like, you would have no notice before, bam, time skip, and it was almost jarring. It was jolting. Anyway, I need to shut up now, because I actually need to go and go to the bank, get the monies, do the things, and get to work. But yeah, I'm so excited, can't wait. This is going to be a read on my downtime, and hopefully I'll have something to tell you guys on my lunch break. If not, I'll still talk to you guys at lunch break, because there's probably going to be some interesting happenings at work. I'm not entirely sure, because if I don't have a lot of downtime, there's usually typically something that's happening. So either way, I'll be back. See you guys then. Hi guys, welcome to another day. It is payday, or Friday, whichever you prefer. We're gonna head to work, and by that point, I'm probably just gonna be right on time, and then I would come back on for lunch. I was gonna do that yesterday, but I found a thing with the platform, or not the platform, but like the app that I use. I found a brand that I wanted to work with, and something that I wanted to try so badly, and y'all are not ready for that. I was trying a new lunch menu item at a certain place, so feel free to place your guesses in the comments now. And yeah, it was fun. It was great. The food caught me by surprise, and we're just gonna leave it there. And yeah, yeah, but we're not doing that today is what I was getting at. So I'll be able to come back on and let you guys know what is going on with the day and how I'm feeling, and like, am I Energizer Bunny or am I like bloated fish? The latter is usually always the case. So yeah, anyways, let's head out so that I'm not late, and I will catch you guys up on the day on my lunch break. And this time I'll actually do it. All right, bye. Hi guys, hello. Yes, we are starting the morning like this, not on the car mount, but using my hand for a tripod, so the footage is going to be a little shakier, and of course we have a different angle, but that is okay. Yes, we are starting off this way because it's going to be a hectic day. Even though I am ahead of schedule for life, I am still gonna be doing things prior to work, and then at work, and then on downtime doing some productive things. So today is just gonna be like a hardcore let's get things done, but like in the more business sense than like actual chores, errands, that type of thing sense. So yeah, basically the plan of attack for the day is we're gonna get caffeinated. Okay, that's the first thing. Well, first thing after, obviously getting ready, eating some breakfast. My roomie got me some blueberries this morning. Well, actually, she and a friend are doing a cute little girls' day. I walk out of my room and my bathroom for getting ready to like get all of the stuff together that is on the counter, because sometimes I have some stuff on the counter that I need to get, aka like the keys and the lunchbox and snacks and all of the things. And I just see the most gorgeous spread on our table, and then I remember, and I was like, oh, she's having a friend over today, cool. And she's just like, we're not gonna eat all of this, would you like to take a few berries with you to work at least? And I was just like, oh, bless your heart. Yes, I would love to. So the good kind of bless your heart, not the other kind of, oh, bless your sweet little heart, and getting tired resting on the wheel. So that occurred, and now we are in my car, and I am talking to you guys first because the plan of the day is going to determine what I do with the rest of the day and determine whether I talk to you guys or not. So basically, again, today, which is going to be interesting too because this is Saturday, so I need to outro at some point. Potentially, I don't know, unless I get another kale thing that I need to do. And then after break, we're going to go back into work, finish off the day, finish up any SEO things, do a little bit more reading, and call it a night on life, and then try and get back home for as much sleep as possible, because tomorrow I'm going to be waking up early to be in the choir praising Jesus. And I'll be seeing you guys hopefully either after I update the Reader Fam, or rather not update the Reader Fam, but start a video for the Reader Fam, or at lunch if I even remember to outro. But at some point you're gonna see me, because we need to outro this video, okay? We need to wrap this up. So see you guys whenever. Okay, hi guys, it is lunch break, and okay, so I'm just gonna update you guys on the day really quickly and then outro this because I need to get back inside because it's the end of the lunch break. So basically I did everything that I said I was gonna do. I got myself caffeinated, got to work, started a vlog for the Reader Fam for a duology that I want to be reading, which is Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, both by Leigh Bardugo. And then I got into work. Work was really good. Today's a Saturday, so it's slower, so we love that. So I'm able to also have a lot of downtime. On the downtime, I have been editing my videos, promoting some branded content and things, so that has been fun. And of course, I just finished my lunch break, and I made the last minute decision to go to Dutch Bros, which is literally not even a few minutes away from my workplace, so love that for me now that I know that. And I got me an energy drink, a Rebel energy drink, because I need it. I'm at that midday slump point. I need to get energized for the rest of the shift. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. Oh, after I updated the Reader Fam, I did like 45 minutes straight of reading Renegades by Marissa Meyer, and you guys, there is a lot going on there, but I'm not going to get onto that because I'm at the end of my break, so I need to go back in and work. So I will just outro the video here and say thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys like weekly vlogs like this, please leave a like so that I know that you guys like them. If you guys want to join our little community here, hit subscribe. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys have another great one, and I will be seeing you guys in the next video. Bye!